Je suis Luisa Fernanda Campo, estudiante en el semestre de bachiller en educación de base, avec especialización en langue étrangère de la Université Centrale del Valle del Cauca. Ce vidéo est pour vous montrer mes réflexions sur la pratique éducative que j'ai fait à l'école Rojas Orjuela, dans la ville de Buga-la-Grande. Alors, on va commencer pour dire qu'avant cette expérience, je n'avais jamais enseigné. Donc, ça a été une bonne expérience dans laquelle j'ai appris beaucoup de choses. Les étudiants étaient très gentils et animés pendant la classe et je prends une grande impression d'eux. Dans la pratique, j'ai enseigné dans deux groupes, une de l'école élémentaire et une autre de l'école maternelle. Et le total des étudiants auxquels je leur enseignais, on était seulement 11, 4 de l'école élémentaire et 6 de l'école maternelle. Maintenant, je vais décrire un peu de mon expérience au cours du semestre qui a été une expérience enrichissante depuis les premiers jours lorsque je suis entrée en classe et j'ai vu les visages de jeunes et enfants qui étaient joyeux, enthousiastes à l'apprentissage. La méthodologie d'enseignement était centrée sur la pratique des élèves en utilisant l'approche communicative pour permettre aux élèves d'utiliser l'anglais qu'ils ont appris dans la description des sujets ou des instruments qui les entouraient. D'autre part, la méthode PPP a été utile pour atteindre non seulement les objectifs de la classe, mais aussi les objectifs du programme. Montrer aux élèves des informations et les pratiquer avec de nombreux exercices didactiques dont les élèves ont bénéficié et qui ont grandement contribué aux étudiants qui se concentrent sur l'enseignement du vocabulaire. Puisqu'ils étaient tous des enfants, la plus importante pour eux de savoir était le vocabulaire. Et les méthodologies ont réussi à aider les élèves à apprendre le vocabulaire. There were many challenges at the moment of teaching students, challenges like they had a bad behavior, that they didn't know how to read or write, they were really sensible, among others. This produced that topic were a little more difficult to teach and to learn. Classes should have been really well prepared for facing those students that didn't know have a reading skills. For this reason, the classes were focused on students to relate the sound with the objects and get an idea of the meaning. The resources provided were just the necessary for leading the classes. Those resources were not expensive, but they were exactly what I need to help the learning process and support students' needs. One of the most important problems that school had when teaching English is that the teacher of English class was not really an English teacher, which caused many troubles during the class since she is a Spanish teacher and her knowledge of English doesn't accomplish the requirement to carry out an English class. The kids really show their enthusiasm during the classes and show a really good improvement in their vocabulary, since in the activities they were able to participate and enjoy the activity while they continue learning. During the activities they showed that they had a really comprehend the vocabulary taught, and in class we showed that the objectives set at the beginning of the practice were partially achieved. Regarding the school environment, in a first observation, it was possible to appreciate that the children had not had much contact with the foreign language. In addition, they had difficulties to read and write, since they were just beginning the learning of these skills in the mother language, and the challenge was to study with a foreign language as well. Some children also have difficulties in pronunciation in the mother's tongue and shyness, but the attitude of the children were direct to the interest to learn and study. They were always willing to carry out the activities and participate in the classes. As it was mentioned before, the first experience in the educational environment, there were challenges regarding to the discipline when looking for the appropriate way to have control over the classes, which was not aggressive, so as not to make children cry. Also, looking for the mechanisms that help students to lead shyness, how to include them, praise them, encourage them to participate among others, and that they really fulfilled that goal was a challenge. To respond to this, it was necessary to use methodologies such as total physical response, PPP, presentation, practice and production, or Jeremy Harmer ESA methodology, engage, study, and activate, methodologies that help teach language in initial levels of learning. These methodologies help in the construction of the area plans as well as in the formation of the activities and workshops for children's learning. By using these three different teaching mechanisms, they help each class to be different and to include several actions in it, from making movements with the body, singing, dancing, to practice writing and talking into account the different learning styles that a student can possess. Regarding the objective proposed in the syllabus, which consists of teaching vocabulary to children, as well as guiding them in the first step towards knowledge of a foreign language, the progress of the students was observed by using the previously seen knowledge. As for example, when saying what color they need and pronouncing it in foreign language, when recognizing the order. For example, sit down, touch your toes, raise your hands, turn around, or say hello and say goodbye using the English foreign language, and in other action carried out by the students. In summary, this was my first experience, full of difficult situations, but also of children with a lot of enthusiasm to learn. Teaching is one of the most beautiful jobs. It allows you to see children happy, see how they learn, progress, and how they appreciate the activities that they were made. But even so, being a teacher is difficult, since it is not only about filling the student with knowledge, but guide them, helping them to produce their knowledge, to instill in them respect, responsibility, and other values, to correct them when it is necessary, to be patient, as there will be some students who will learn faster than others, and other students who are very hyperactive. In relation to the methodologies used within the classroom, it is possible to say that to unify the three pedagogies, that is the PPP, the total physical response, and the ESA, allow the student, in the words of Jeremy Harmon, in the practice of teaching, the opportunity to think about how a grammatical piece works, while providing communicative activities and task-based procedure. These offer a control and appropriate practice depending on the age of the student, the learning style, and the language in question. At the same time, that employs in it the four skills: speaking, writing, listening, and reading. And finally, I can say that the teacher must develop many essential functions for the holistic development of the students.